good? It's your girl, Miss Fab, coming to you once again for another episode of Gtalk. Listen, it's been a while. We took a little break, but we back like we never left. And Gtalk would not be what it is today if it wasn't for this very special guest that we have. He goes by the name of Omar Henry, a.k.a. Henry the Great, b.k.a. HG. Now, we're going to get into a lot of discussions about who this man is, what he does, where he's been, and where he's going. So you definitely want to stay tuned. So welcome, Mr. Omar. Listen, he is the CEO of this whole situation.
This is humbleness, man. Just be chilling, man.
Right. So you guys are going to learn a lot about Gr8Ness Ent because he is the mastermind behind the whole thing. Okay, and he put me on and a couple other people, but we're not gonna talk about that. So Omar, what is up?
Man, been chilling. You know what I'm saying? Trying to navigate the pandemic. Been trying to navigate life. Do music. Trying to get my thing together.
Okay. So you're doing music. What are the things that you do?
Okay, so I know that we've had this conversation, but a lot of people think I do a lot of things. So just to clarify, the only things that I do is I cut hair, you guys see my page, so, I get to it with the clippers, and then I do music. So that's the only two things that I do. I stay behind the scenes now. I used to do a lot of things with my hands. I used to try and, do everything the company needed to do, but we have different assets now, so it kind of works itself out.
Okay. So just for those, especially new viewers, Gtalk, let's talk about Gtalk. How did Gtalk come about? Like, what was the vision behind Gtalk before I jump into these questions?
Okay, so Gtalk started when, first of all, I started with the company. I believe that, everybody's born with greatness inside of them. And, it comes from 1 John 4:4. When I started with that verse, I remember thinking to myself that there's a lot of dope people out there that they have a lot of dope things that they do, and God inspired it, you know what I'm saying? And when God inspired it, it creates this whole creative atmosphere and this whole, it's different for them. So it made me think, let's interview them. Let's put them on camera. Let's see what they're talking about. Let's get some knowledge from them. Let's understand and let's learn from them as well, too. So.
Right. So, Gtalk, I can say God Talk or whatever, Gr8Ness Talk. We can call it all kinds of different things. But I wanted you to point out the fact that it was driven by the purposes that God had for people,
exactly,
right?
Yeah.
And God has always been the foundation of Gtalk, right?
100%.
So, and that's really the foundation for everything that we do.
Yeah.
So, if we're talking about God, I have to ask you these specific questions as it relates to God. So, Do you attend church right now?
Right now, I do not attend church.
You were?
I was.
Okay,
let's
talk about it.
I attended church for years. I grew up in church. I was,
Since you were 8?
8, 9. Yeah, before that. My mom would joke. She'd be like, yo, you went to church when you were in the womb? I'm like, dang, yeah. So I've been going to church. And, after years, I'm 31 now. So after years of going to church, I just feel like, it's a little different. I feel like our generation's a little different too. So I think it was the pandemic. The pandemic made me kind of realize that, let's keep it 100%. Church sometimes is taxing. It's everybody doesn't want to talk about the realness of it, but you serve and you go through different things, and in certain seasons it becomes taxing. So when I got to the pandemic, I realized, my life came to a pause. My job closed, the church closed, and I realized I had a lot more time for myself. Mm-hmm. And in that time for myself, it made me kind of find God a little bit more. When you find you, I feel like, it's easier for you to understand, who God wants you to be. Because it's like, all right, I kind of know who I am. You know what I'm saying? God's revealed this to me. So it was easier for me to navigate. And then since then, I've just been like, man, I've enjoyed just it being me and God right now. That's the season I'm in. It's just me and God. I wake up. It's me and God. I go to sleep, it's me and God. I don't really have influences other than God in my life right now.
Right. Do you feel like there has been any challenges with that transition? Because you grew up in church your entire life. So stepping out of church for a little moment or whatever the case is and giving God that one-on-one individual attention, was there a challenge between that, with that transition?
Yeah, definitely. I know people don't, I talk all the time about, I have no issue saying no. That's me. Uh-huh. But I love to serve though. I'm growing up in that atmosphere, being able to go into communities and do things with youth and all the things. I do miss it. And that aspect of church I do miss. Right. But, that's the most difficulty for me. And then also it's finding another church home or finding another church or going back into the church atmosphere. I think being in this atmosphere now, me enjoying this space, it's hard for me to let other people back in now.
Well, that's a real situation. And I do want at least to point out, church isn't just a building.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So what do you think church is? If it's not just a building, what do you think church is?
I think So I was telling my grandmother this today. I think the Bible is all just love. Like, I think it's all about experience and love. And I think church is just like experience the love of people around you. I have a great network of people around me. I have great friends, great family, people on our team, I got to shout out Faye, but he's behind the camera right now. But, shout out my dog, you feel me? He out here. But, they don't operate outside of the Christian parameters. What I mean by that, we don't like that Christian word, and because, everybody has their own mentality right now, but we have reflexes, and I think that when you practice them enough, it creates a reflex. So with having great people around you that are Christians, and we've been this for so long, I was laughing with Matt from Home with Harvey's the other day that when things happen in our lives, it's reflex to pray. It's not something we got to think about. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's instant for us, reflex to pray. So I think that's that's been great, just having people around me.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, like, we the people are church.
Yeah. So we the people are the ones of the church. I feel like that's the network of it. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be we all go to the same building, but if we can love each other and grow with each other, that's all church I need, to be honest.
That's good. Yeah. But we're not saying don't go to church, y'all.
Yeah, go to church. Church is
find
good.
a church home or find
home.
people that you can experience
exactly.
church with. Because at the end of the day, that's what it's about. How has the pandemic impacted your walk with him? Now, I know you said something about, it's been you and him more so now more than before. So what impact has that done for you in your life? Like, any changes happened? Have you seen any type of growth? And if so, just give us a little bit of details as far as that's concerned.
For me personally, I feel like this was a time to kind of focus. And when I was able to focus, I feel like God just began to move. Because it was me and him, it wasn't other things I had to worry about. And, it was kind of rough at first. The pandemic hit out. Transitions are always a little bit harder. So when I left, my job closed, church closed, I'm like, I'm just out here. What am I supposed to be doing? And I feel like, God just started some seeds that were planted many years ago, just started being fruitful. And God just started planting many things. So, I had a studio when I first opened, when the pandemic first hit. And then after a while, the studio closed, just financial issues. And now, I'm in my next studio now. This is my next studio. And God's just been good, different things have happened, just say the blessings. I feel like people don't really talk about, like, the blessings of God. And me, I always try to remember what he's done to get me to this point.
Right.
I remember pandemic hit, my car got into an issue. Then 5 months ago, my car just flooded, and now God put me in a new car. Like, he put me in different things, and I was like, wow, just to be in this position in the pandemic, it just showed me, like, the true, like, fruitfulness of who God really is in my life. So it's been good.
That's good, because that was going to be my next question. Like, who has he been during this transition to you in your life? But more so, was there a time, because he's been showing up during this pandemic, apparently, cars and all these things.
Yeah,
so true. Was there a time that you gave up on him?
Man. Yeah, I definitely think that there was a time that I just stopped trusting God. I was like, I really don't want to do this anymore. And so about 3 or 4 years ago, I got into an accident and, I broke my spine. And if you can see, I got a little scar on my head.
He walking and talking and acting like he was not in no accident, y'all. Let me tell you something. Here, y'all. That ain't him.
Yeah. So I forgot the question. Wow, you just.
Yes, I'm sorry.
So good.
Yes, was there a time that you decided to give up on him?
So you would think that now you see me and you would think that I don't have any of those issues and I'm walking and I have all these things. But when that first happened, I remember laying in that hospital bed and just asking God, why me? Like, I've had other things in life, but in that season of my life, I was really focused on God. I was really... What happened?
Where were you going?
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I was actually going to church.
No, where are you going? Were you going to church?
Yeah, I was.
Nuh-uh.
On the way to when I got my accident?
No, you weren't.
Yes, I was.
It was at night. Oh, a vibe night.
Yeah.
Oh,
I said to a vibe night.
Okay, a vibe night. I'm about to say not CLC during the day. It was at nighttime.
No. Yeah, so
he was on his way to a church function.
Well, young adults, right?
Yeah, young adults.
All right, cool. That's what we were at the time. But I was on the way to a young adults group, worship God, enjoy some church, and somebody just drove the wrong side of the road, ran directly into me, and I remember just waking up in a hospital bed. You know what I'm saying? Well, I woke up in the ambulance and blacked out, woke up in the hospital bed, and I remember just after my surgery, I remember just questioning God, like, why? Why me? Like, I'm in church, I was like, at the time, I was like, I'm not doing drugs, I'm not doing nothing. I'm like, why me right now that I have to be
everything right?
Yeah, I was like, I'm doing everything right now. Why me, God? And I remember just leaving the hospital, people don't talk about it after the drugs wear off. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you're home and you're trying to just maneuver, no IV, no, like, they're not injecting with nothing. I remember just laying in my bed and just thinking, like, I'm done, you know what I'm saying? Like, when I get up out of this bed, I'm just going to live my life. And, God just showed himself every day in that season. Like, when I was in pain, God would just ease my pains. When, like, I remember it's like a kid learning to walk again. I really learned how to my motor skills again and learn what my body was, and it just showed me who God was. Like I was just like, all right, well, kept blessing me. Like I'm here now. I wasn't working, and there was finances still coming in. I had a studio at the time too, and God was still providing for that studio abundantly. Like I was still able to buy stuff and do different things, and you know, at the end of the day, I was able to walk. So the fact that I was able to walk, you know, it changed your mentality. Let me say. People don't think it changes your mentality when you see other people with the same situations you're in and they're not walking. And you know, shout out to my dog Anthony. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? RP to my dog. And just to segue a little bit, because people don't get it. Like 4 months ago, one of my dogs died in a car accident, and it killed me because it was like, I was in a car accident too, and my junk was terrible, and I survived, you feel me, with a broken spine. I'm here walking, talking, doing music, standing on my feet 8-10 hours a day, cutting hair. And I got a broken spine. You know what I'm saying? I have a spinal injury. So the fact that everybody doesn't make it out, it just made me realize. Like, I started seeing examples in that season of other people that just like were dying and not making it out. And it made me realize, all right, God, you're out here. And even though I want to give up, you know, I'm not.
Right.
We're going to rock through it. And, you know, because even though you're rocking with God, sometimes you want to give up sometimes. We don't talk about it either, but I still rock through it, and I'm happy I did. So
that is so good.
Yeah.
It's like it took your gratitude to a whole nother level.
Exactly.
I like the fact that you were saying that you in that point of you wanting to give up, like he continued to bless you. And when you got into this nasty accident, you were on some, when I get better, I'm going to live my life.
Yeah.
But I want to kind of point out, like, does living your life mean that it has to be absent of God?
No, I don't think so. I think that...
Because in that thought, you were thinking it like,
I was.
Forget you, I'm going to do me. I don't need you because life is short. But at the end of the day, your gratitude grew to the point of thinking like, actually, I'm going to still live my life, but I need him more now than I ever did before, because people don't even make it to say that.
Man, when it's the truth. Like, I remember I left the hospital with a walker, and I remember just thinking to myself, you know, I was ready to give up. But after a couple weeks of learning to walk and learning to all that and being blessed to that, like, it's different. It's very different.
I think that's why he shows so much legs now, y'all.
Yeah, I got to, man. I'm out here.
Listen, he out here. He said, I can walk. I'm going to show these legs off. I don't care what y'all say or think.
Yeah, hey, man, you know.
It's a part of drip. It's a part of swag. I get it. Living life. I get it. It's a beautiful thing. But thank you for sharing that, because I think it's encouraging. I think it's encouraging for those who feel like they hit a bottom or hit rock bottom, whether it's a physical thing or a mental thing. And at the end of the day, like, you stuck through and you continue to keep God first. So kudos to you, because it's a struggle, and we all know it's a struggle.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? People just chasing God is not easy. And it's not I think a lot of people look at this road like, oh, we're gonna be Christians, cool, we got it, like grace, favor, abundance, and I always laugh because I'm like, hey, testing, like there's a lot that comes with
testing
it,
and trials,
so,
temptations.
So and now that's why I say I just, you know what I'm saying, it's taught me to love God in a different way. So I just encourage everybody out there, if you're in a season where it's hard for you to trust God, or it's hard for you to see God in the season, or see like, yo, my life, if you follow my IG, you see the lifestyle I kind of live, and I love God more than anything in life. There's nothing I love more than God in my life. So, you know what I'm saying? Just a little encouragement to those out there.
All right, so we're going to segue a little bit into something a little more personal. All of that was personal, but still. Y'all don't know the dynamic between us, but I met him a couple years back, and at the time he was flourishing in this beautiful relationship with this beautiful young lady. We're not going to name drop. Back then, he was a whole fiance. Okay? And now, we want to kind of jump into that. Like, tell me, how has it been in this role, coming from being in a relationship, long-term relationship, almost married, young and married, to, going through that whole cycle and being where you are now as a single young man?
Man, it was rough.
Following the Lord and loving the Lord.
It was rough, man. I think that, I think that when men get out of relationships, they always kind of take the blame. I think that, there's always like, oh, it's the man's fault. And I don't think it was anybody's fault in the relationship I was in. I just think that, agree to disagree, and then it just causes us to separate. But, coming out of the relationship, I feel like everybody kind of looked at me like I failed. And it was harder for me to walk out of that to say like, all right, let me walk into singleness as a strong man and a confident man in that season. So it's been challenging, but with every day, we grow. Still believe that love is out there. You feel me? This is right.
Yo, Mrs. Right. He just shouted you out wherever you are. Listen, has grown. He has grown a lot since then. Okay, but what was the biggest thing you learned from that situation? Because you've been single since, correct?
Yeah.
So what was the biggest lesson learned from that?
The biggest lesson learned. So this is gonna sound like it's an overall. I know it's an umbrella answer, but it taught me how to be like a better man or a better like man towards a wife. You know what I'm saying? So I remember I was speaking to Pastor Christian. He's at CLC Christian Life Center. I remember I was talking to him about just dating and where I was at. This was a couple months ago. I remember telling him that one thing I didn't realize when I was with my ex is that my role as a man, I'm held to a different criteria than a woman is held to biblically, regardless. You know what I'm saying? We're held to difference. We're not held to the same criteria. Like I'm held to more. So I've in all of my singleness, you know what I'm saying, coming to this point, I probably just said this to him like 6 months ago.
Right.
Don't think I just this whole time I've been out here like, man, I gotta be, you know what I'm saying? But I learned that my role as a man and my role as who I have to be like in a woman's life or in my wife's life, or even if somebody's life I'm dating has to be different. And at that time I don't think I was, as I said, we all have faults. I don't think I was fitting that role for her as well, you know what I'm saying?
You weren't mentally there yet.
Yeah, I don't think I was mentally there or like financially, everything there. I wasn't there in life.
And that's the thing. That's the real thing with men.
Yeah.
They feel like they gotta have, I thought it was just women, because we, feel like we gotta have all that stuff together, but men really, it's like y'all feel like y'all have to have everything in line.
Yeah.
Certain men, because other men not. Certain things in line in order to, be that leader or head of a household or whatever the case is. And then it really causes you to like lose sometimes. And I mean, some people will look at it as losing, some people will look at it as winning, but
yeah, I definitely agree. Like, you never know what may happen in life. I definitely think she's a great girl, but I definitely think that both of us lost that mental battle.
Yeah.
I think we both lost that mental battle, and like we lost that front. And then once that was gone, it was easy for other things to be able to influence, you know what I'm saying, and kind of shift us from where we were. So
what is your approach now to women? Like, how do you gauge whether or not a woman is even worth approaching or, what do you call it, pursuing? What are the things that you look for? I mean, if your future wife is watching, I got you.
I mainly look for drive. I think that, and this is a crazy mentality, and as I said, I feel like men are held to more. Let me teach some young men some stuff out here.
Don't even look 31.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
It's just the facial hair, that's all that is. But go ahead.
So I think that, I look for drive. I feel like a woman that is driven in anything she does is gonna be a woman that's gonna be driven to make her marriage work and driven to make her relationship work and driven. It's that drive, like it's that hunger for more, hunger to be more. Because we talk about men, we could talk about success and the financial state of women we want, but I really believe that we can't really, especially being 31, to keep it transparent, I can't look at that as a factor of I need you to have a certain financial status.
Right.
Because there's a lot of women out here that are being taken care of by husbands, or they're old enough, or it's a lifestyle, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
So I look for, are you driven enough? Because if you're driven enough, that means you're gonna push me, and that means I will never be broke. So to me, I'm not worried about what the pockets look like. I'm worried about like, okay, what are you doing? How are we gonna grow to the next level?
Right. Are you looking?
I am.
A good question.
It is. I'll entertain something if it's the right something, I guess. I know that sounds
like. How do you
like,
know if it's the right something? Wait a minute. How do you know? Based on how she look, or based on how she speaks when you approach her? If you do approach her, or it's gonna be the chick that come and approach you.
So, hey,
that's a driven chick.
Let me say this, right? Let me clarify some things.
I'm just saying.
I think that a girl can't approach me. I have no issue with that. It just I want to clarify this because everybody feels a type of way. But I still think it has to I still have to be physically attracted. That's all it is. But personality to me is a killer. That's it. If your personality can knock me out the gates, I'm gonna rock with you. You know what I'm saying?
Your personality has to match theirs, though.
My personality is great though.
It go with everybody's, huh?
No, that's not true.
It's not. I know it's not.
It doesn't. Like, my personality
It
is...
don't.
Alright, so I'm spontaneous. I'll wake up the next day and be like, yo, let's hop on jet skis, let's go to Atlanta. I was like, I don't care, let's do this. That's my personality. And like, yo, Lex is A-Fable behind the camera shaking his head because he knows. I'll call him and be like, yo, let's do this right now. And he'll be like, bro, I have work. Like,
hello.
Like, I can't do this.
I have a job.
So I like to be spontaneous. Like, I like somebody he likes to have fun. Like, you ain't gonna be sticking them up. We 30s, you know what I'm saying? This is when we're making good, especially if you're single right now. If you're a single girl approaching me, bro, we're in our 30s, man. We got money. Like,
not all. But listen, but as far as personality matching someone else's, do you think you would be attracted to a woman with a very strong personality?
Yes. Okay, so I don't know who's gonna take this a wrong way.
Oh Lord, don't.
But there's a reason. A lot of people don't know. Like, what's going to say this? I love black women, but the reason I do. Don't do that. I definitely love black women. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Yo, check out my song Black Queen too. Shout out. But you know what I'm saying? I love black women, and I feel like black women are the strongest black women on the planet. My mom is a strong black woman, and everything I see in her, it took strength for her to raise a knucklehead like me. So I need a woman that's gonna be strong enough to deal with what we go through. As black men, black women, black people, we go through a lot, and I feel like we need strength in that. And I've always seen black women strength. So somebody that's strong enough to hold me down and slap me over my head when I need it every once in a while. I need that. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so he's expecting a strong black, beautiful woman to approach him possibly while he's out on jet skis, maybe on a random
it's not that hard,
Tuesday afternoon while everybody else is working. I'm just saying. No, I'm just joking. All right, so that's good. So just so you guys know, he is single. He's ready to mingle if the right person comes his way. So right person, come on down. All right, so now we're going to segue a little bit into something a little more serious, a little more driven based. We're going to segue into business. Now, let's talk a little bit about that. Now, we already know he's the CEO of Gr8Ness Ent. He talked a little bit about what that is. But you didn't really dive into the different aspects of what it actually, like the umbrella, the things that fall underneath it. We did hear you mention music in the beginning.
Yeah.
So he's a barber, but the music aspect, let's talk a little bit about that. Okay, what is that? And what are you doing with that?
Gr8Ness Ent. Are you talking barbering?
Nope.
Just music, Gr8Ness Ent?
Everything under Gr8Ness Ent.
Okay. So Gr8Ness Ent is something that God, I guess, birthed into me, as I said, 1 John 4:4. I was talking to A-Fable about this the other day too. A lot of people think I named it Greatness because I believe that I'm greatness, but I never believed that. Like, that was never my purpose of naming it that. I just genuinely believe, I understand that, but I genuinely believe that we're all birthed with, the greatness inside of us that God has given us. Like, I was birthed with the ability to create music. Like, it wasn't something that it comes naturally to me. I dance, I rap, I produce. Anything musically I touch is naturally something I'm gifted at. So I think God birthed that. That's not something that I would just birth with. I created. So Gr8Ness Ent was created to be a full service entertainment company. I wanted to be able to service all entertainment needs, whether it's, a podcast like this, or whether it's a rap album that somebody wants to do, or a folk album, or a country album, or
merch.
Yeah, or merch, you know what I'm saying? Or anything like, I wanted to encompass that we would be able to accommodate the entertainer, that wants to do those different things. To accommodate the greatness that's already inside of people. We wanted to be able to accommodate it and as well as showcase the people that's in my network. If you look on my page, there's a lot of people we work with. Fab, obviously. Miss Fab is dope. You know what I'm saying? This is, yeah. She talks about, I do this, she holds all this together, guys. Don't let her fool you, all right? So, then we got A-Fable behind camera, and he's always here. So, like, he's great behind camera. He's great with music. He also produces. We DJ. We like to showcase what people do. So, the things that we do, so everybody's clear, is me personally. Right now I'm just a rapper. I just rap. I don't really do too much else.
And your stage name is what?
My stage name is Henry the Great, aka HG. You know what I'm saying? That's what they call me. So, and then also I cut hair. So also, with entertainment, we also do like barbering, hairstylist type stuff too. That's all I do. Then we have A-Fable. He does photography and videography. And we have Believe Media that we work with too. They handle some of our videography too. What else do we do? And that's it right now, right? No? Yes. All right, cool. All right, that sounds like it.
All right, so taking on the the ownership of being an entrepreneur and using that to, foster or build on something that you're passionate about. How has that been in navigating while a pandemic has been taking place? Like, how have you been able to kind of like still work it, or even, I don't know, pour into it during a pandemic?
I think that it's been hard. That's another thing that's been hard over the last year, 2 years. What? It's been going on forever. I don't know how long we've been here. I'm like, what's good? But it was hard. I remember that. So just real transparency, I bought a new car when right before the pandemic hit. Didn't plan for a pandemic,
Nobody did.
I'd been cutting hair full time for a while at that point, and I was like, you know what? I deserve a new car. You know what I'm saying? Bought a new car. So I bought this, decisions, but I bought this new car. It wasn't brand new, it was a BMW, you know what I'm saying? But I bought it and the pandemic hit and everything shut down in life. Like, I was in Jamaica when everything shut down too. So I came back to my shop closed. I remember I was on vacation, so you know how sometimes we go on vacation and we empty that account. I come back to the to everything shut down. This brand new car, all these bills, and you know what I'm saying, my account looking crazy. So, I remember you gotta get inventive. And I think that's the biggest thing about business is that people don't realize the reason people think I do a lot of things is because I'm always gonna invent it. Like, these doors gotta stay open. Like, that's the name of the game for me. I'll never look at something like, oh, I gotta give up here. So I remember that the first thing I started doing like Shipt and Instacart, and I just started delivering groceries, and that was keeping the business funded for a good majority of the pandemic, to the point that it's giving me leverage to be able to get another studio and do the things I've been doing lately. Is that, buy a new car and do the things I've actually wanted to do in the past years and do it through this pandemic. So,
I think that is super dope, and I also feel like that's a humbling experience to have, having to go from, having the money in the bank and being able to take vacation, then you have to come home and start delivering groceries. Yeah, or it's it's very different. And if I know him, he don't like to. Yeah.
It's true. I don't see myself working for people. Actually, this milestones. I've had this company for maybe 5-6 years now, and I think I quit my last job like 3 or 4 years ago. So I've been doing this a while, but that was humbling. That was very humbling. I was in Jamaica, pina coladas, buffet, Rio. You know what I'm saying? Rio. I'm out there, all inclusive hotel, and I come back here to I don't even know how I'm paying my car note tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? So It taught me that. Everybody's situation different. I think that's what it really taught me, is that when you gotta go out there and get it. Like, the grind never stops, even though you always have to find a way to make a way.
All right, so I love the fact that, as he stated earlier, Gr8Ness Ent is really a platform for creatives, and in any genre of their art, they get to actually bring it alive, and I love that about Gr8Ness Ent. So, as we speak on that, or actually bring that to a close, let's talk about what you are doing individually, not as the CEO, but as an artist, with Gr8Ness Ent right now.
Right now, I'm creating music. That's my goal, is to kind of lead the front. As I've been rapping a long time, and a lot of people told me to take it seriously, and a lot of people told me you just need to go for it and do it. So that's the purpose of me getting this new space. It's kind of like, all right, it's time to go for it. It's time to do it. So I've shot in a couple videos. I got a video coming out soon. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So it's called 2 Glocks, and it's just, it started, it sounds crazy, but in my mind I wrote it because it's time to let people know that I'm not taking it no more. It's time to, stop being humble a little bit and kind of use this skill and these giftings God gave me and let loose. So,
Okay.
Yeah, man.
So where do you see Gr8Ness Ent in 5 years?
5 years from now, if everybody knows me, I'm a big dreamer.
You are. He is. Listen, he does not say that lightly.
You got to dream big.
You have to, though.
That's what I always tell people, right? You dream big, because even if you hit 75% of that dream, you still hit more than you thought you could accomplish. You know what I'm saying? So you have to dream big. In 5 years from now, I really do see myself with, my own owned commercial property, owned commercial warehouse, probably, 10,000 square feet type warehouse, because I want something big. I want something that we can still. This is a start for me. This will probably be a home, maybe a home office for us, but I want something that we can grow into and keep growing into. And I feel like 10,000 square feet is something that is feasible to work towards for 5 years from now.
That's true.
And then musically, Afio behind the camera, but he does music too. So I see us touring a little bit, doing some music. I think we really got a lot coming this year. I think we really got a lot of quality coming. I hope the people like it. So 5 years from now, I don't know, man. I see great things. You know what I'm saying?
Great things
Yeah,
for
great
Gr8Ness Ent. Well, Omar, I just want to say thank you so much for the time that you gave us. I thank you just for the opportunity that you gave me to host such a phenomenal podcast show. It has definitely been a great run. We interviewed some amazing people, and I don't think it would have been right if we did not interview you.
Yeah,
the face behind, this whole mastermind of an idea to just start a podcast. So again, we just want to thank you. I thank you. And of course, I wish you well on all your future endeavors. Y'all definitely got to cop the music. Listen to whatever he got going on. If y'all need a studio space for whatever you guys need, whether it's photography, videography, whatever, music, go ahead and cop that. Get his Instagram, which is your Instagram.
Oh, yeah. My Instagram is actually at Henry, so it's HenryTheGr8_. And if you need the Gr8Ness like ENT page, that's Gr8Nessent. If you need our website too, is Gr8NessEnt.com. You can only type in Gr8Ness Ent anywhere, and it's us, to be honest.
There you go.
If it's anybody else, it's not us, and
there you go.
it don't matter.
That's it. So thank you again. It's your girl, Miss Fab, coming to you for the last time on Gr8Ness Ent. Gtalk.
Yeah.
Bye.
Tyler.